Sometimes everything is wrong. Hold on. Everybody hurts sometimes. Kaiser,
You know what really makes today's loss hurt?
can it hurt anymore?
Yeah. Did you see what the Texans did? Did you see C.J. Stroud?
I was trying.
470 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Trying my best to block that out, but thanks.
Not that I think that C.J. Stroud is even better than Bryce Young, but you know what we're going to hear.
I mean, the C.J. fans are loud and proud today, which, I mean, I guess you should be. I mean, you know, when your quarterback throws 2 pick sixes, man, that gives you every opportunity to shout out your own guy. So,
did Indianapolis even play offense today? They ran the ball some, but then they didn't.
Did they need to play offense today?
Actually, they didn't. The 2 pick sixes, they scored 14 points. We scored 13 points on offense.
We lost by 2 pick sixes. That's the game. That's all right. That's it. Thank y'all for joining on the construction.
See y'all next week. Take care of each other and yourself. Now, a full disclosure. We're going to zip through the Panthers today. The Hornets are playing right now. Dallas Mavericks. They're up 42-37.
44-37.
44-37. They look good. So we don't want to keep y'all from that. And I want to talk about the Hornets. Interesting week. The Hornets week was like Charlotte weather this week. Like,
you don't know what you're gonna get, buddy.
It might be hoodie weather, might be wife beater weather. So, but the Panthers today lost to the Indianapolis Colts 27-13 in a game that was
we were never out of. Strangely enough, we were never really out of the game.
Mainly because the Colts aren't that good. If this had been like, hell, even Tampa or New Orleans.
Oh, God. This would have been.
Yeah. Shit, even the Falcons probably would have ran the score up. But right. Indianapolis is not good enough to do that. But they didn't have to be. They just got 2 really good pick sixes, really mistakes on Bryce Young's part. Those are totally on him.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. The first pick six, Bryce panicked. There's no question about that.
Oh yeah,
let me be very clear.
Yep.
Let me be very clear. But let me also say this too, man. Both of those pick sixes, somebody was in his face both times.
That's true.
But somebody's always in Bryce Young's face, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I will agree there. Bryce Young never has a clean pocket from snap to completion. Even if he gets the pass off, he gets hit. And so many times, you know how in this year's Madden, there's like a little pressure meter, like when you throw the ball, depending on how close to the finish. Right.
His
shit is always
like red, like
under
bright
pressure,
red. Right.
Yep. I like, for instance, there was one play where I don't remember the context of the play, what down and distance it was, but everyone was covered. Bryce held the ball really too long and got sacked on a four-man rush.
Right.
And the commentators were like, well, dude, you just got to get rid of that ball. And I'm thinking, yeah, how about you just get open? How about somebody just get open?
And look, I mean, he might have held onto the ball very long, but is it a coincidence that all 4 of those guys were in the backfield? Like, on a 4-man rush, all 4 of those guys were.
Willie Smith said he didn't watch the entire game. I turned it off. I started doing other things late in the game. I didn't turn off. I could have went with Jamal. Thanks to Joshua Hildreth, by the way, for giving us tickets.
MVP today.
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
Shout out. But I had just come back from out of town, and I was in no condition to go to the game. So Jamal went. I'm sorry about that, brother. But yeah. Real quick, I do want to address Danny Thompson, not in a facetious way. Our thoughts on CJ Stroud today. We did very briefly touched on this.
Before we answer that question, Danny, would you like to share your thoughts on the Falcons blowing the lead to the Vikings today? Like, share those thoughts first,
That
sir.
was very Falcons.
They're very Falcons-like.
Danny told us Desmond Ridder was going to be okay. Did he play today?
Because I could have swore Desmond Ritter was the guy for the Falcons today.
I thought
I'm sorry, for the guy for the franchise. My bad.
Because Danny told us that.
Yeah, but go ahead.
But when the Texans played the Panthers, it was clear C.J. Stroud was working with better resources. The guy had a clean pocket. The guy had receivers that were getting open. Bryce Young has none of that. I mean, we've been watching the Panthers for 30 years. By the way, this is the 30th year the franchise has been in existence, technically. October 26, 1993 is when the NFL awarded the franchise to Charlotte. So, in the 28 plus years we've been watching the Panthers, this is the worst offensive line.
It's not even close.
I have ever
It's not even close either. It's not close. It's worse than Cam's rookie year.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
This is the worst offensive line I've ever seen.
It's worse than when Derek Carr was here. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah, I mean...
and there's no words to explain the regression of Ike Ekwonu. I keep saying his name every week, man. I can't explain the regression. I can't. I have no analysis for it. I don't.
After last week, I watched a lot of YouTube content creators that do football analysis, and a lot of them did analysis on Bryce Young. And essentially everyone mentioned how Ekwonou's got to play better for Bryce Young to play better.
Right.
Like, Bryce Young is like playing around Ike Ekwonu. How does that make any sense? I don't get it. This was supposed to be the guy.
Right. And he looked like he was on his way to being the guy last year.
I guess the thing is, if you're getting like out finessed by speed rushers, or there's some guys you're just not going to be able to account for. If a JJ Watt-esque defender is coming at Ekwonu, I expect you to struggle. You know, no matter how good you are. But I'm watching dudes just like straight bull rush Ekwonu back into the pocket, like.
And the thing is, we can try to analyze and say, is it a technique type of deal? Is it coaching? But please keep in mind that the Panthers offensive line coach is one of the most respected offensive line coaches in the NFL. James Campen is like the guy. So that makes the explanation even more puzzling.
Well, but you know what? I mean, you can't coach lack of talent. I mean, maybe our line, they're just not that good.
But Ekwonu in particular, like, he's shown us what he could do.
He
must have been hanging out with Jeff Otal in the summer.
Nah, Jeff Otal was better. He just was injured. Ekwonu he's the only healthy dude on the line, and
now, Kaiser, Jeff Otal was in that club every week. Trust me, I know. I was there. But anyway,
but you know what? I mean, yeah, he was in the club. He was at Bojangles. He was all in place.
Him and Sean May, but we digress.
Oh man, I don't know what else to say about this game. Well, first of all, before Bryce Young even throws the first pick, like, the word is out. The Panthers will get after your quarterback, but they're not stopping your run.
Right.
Jonathan Taylor was going to have 1,000 rushing yards today.
But he didn't need to.
He didn't even
and that's
need
the only
to.
reason they didn't have that.
By the way, Gordon Hayward busting their ass right now.
Just want to throw it out.
Just want to put that up there. He killing them. This is so. But I don't know what. Man, this is a great question, and we asked this. We've been asking this since preseason. What is the identity of the Panthers? Frank Reich has not established it. He has not. What is that?
You know what the identity of the Panther is? Survival.
Yes. Well, clearly they want to throw the ball. They do want to be an offensive-minded team, and they throw the ball more than any other team in the league, which is kind of weird, honestly, considering you don't have the personnel to do that.
Right.
But offensive-minded does not necessarily mean pass the ball all the time.
Right.
It means being offensive-minded. By the way, I will say starting Chuba Hubbard this week was a great move. Unfortunately, we got so behind we didn't even get to.
So here's my lame attempt to answer this question, because there wasn't a lot of good from the Panthers offense, but there was some good. And when I say some good, I mean the 2 drives that they actually did put together to actually score.
Right.
So let's talk about let's try to analyze that really quickly.
By the way, they had what a 86-yard.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
a 77-yard drive in the third quarter. Well, the third quarter was actually a great response to the pick six at halftime.
Yeah. I was I was pleased with the way Bryce Young, kind of shrugged off that pick. And yes, Austin, we did start off running real good. There were things in the offense that
you
I did
could take away from. But here's what I'm getting at, Kaza. I noticed that they went up tempo a little bit. You know what I mean? They went tempo. There was a lot of quick throws to kind of mitigate the pass rush. But at the same time, it's not sustainable, man.
No.
NFL defenses are too good to keep letting you do that throughout every game.
Absolutely,
you understand? And at some point, you got to throw the ball down the field. We had one downfield throw to Hayden Hurst because, man, Bryce Young had a little bit of time to throw the ball. You understand what I'm saying? But the game plan is to get the ball out quick, throw these short dump passes. But, again, guys like Kenny Moore, vets who've been in the league 5-6 years, they're gonna pick up on it, and that's what's gonna happen.
Yep, absolutely. You gotta help. You gotta help Bryce out. You gotta help
your rookie out, man. And again, both of those pick sixes, he panicked. He just panicked.
Well, the second one was a design
I forgot
screen.
Right.
That was it. It would have gone big if he hadn't overthrown it, which like you can't panic on a screen because the whole point of the screen is you let the defenders
get to you. Right. Now, I'm devil's advocate. Can you say that those defenders got through a little quicker than you wanted them to on that last one?
That's what I was like. He was like, "Yo, these guys kind of
like, hold on, not this fast."
The offensive line was like, "We don't have to block." Okay, all right, woo. We ain't gotta stop nobody. Yeah, I will agree. I do think we do need to roll Bryce out more. Bryce, there were more times where Bryce, I'm like, man, you should run that. You don't want him running all the time, but
he knows how to slide though.
Yeah,
he knows how to avoid hits.
Keep the defense honest.
And there was a lot of success when he did roll out, and when you can give Bryce a chance to improvise and to be creative, he has a lot of success doing that.
Yeah,
but you got to give him a little bit of time.
I mean, if Bryce has a little bit of time, he always looks good whenever he's got a little bit of time. I mean, you can say, well, that's any quarterback in the NFL. Fair enough, but I mean, he don't have the time that other quarterbacks in the NFL have.
All right, Kaza, here's my hot takey question for today, man. Are you worried, or are we worried about Bryce Young becoming shell-shocked and losing confidence?
No, actually, no, because he's almost too calm.
Mm-hmm.
They even said that during the broadcast. He's just so like, well, I got sacked.
Yeah, next play.
Right. And he's not getting rid of the ball quickly or making bad decisions like the two picks he threw today because he's afraid of getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make a play.
Right.
He's like, shit, play broke down again. Nobody's open. Pressure's in my face. I need to make a play. So I don't see him becoming like Sam Darnold,
right,
who got ruined after the Jets.
Right.
I don't see that from him. But good question. Next two questions. Elephant in the room, 3rd round pick, and how do we fix this? That's the problem. You got no 1st round picks. The trade deadline came and gone.
I'm going to steal a famous quote from a famous quarterback that was here. Hey, man, put it in the suggestion box because I don't know.
Yeah.
I truly don't know.
I agree with this.
I don't even know if our general manager is going to be here at the end of the season.
He said, Drell says 3 years. And we said that same thing too. I feel like 3 seasons, you should be able to make a team respect them on 3 seasons.
Yeah.
John Fox did it.
Right.
Ron Rivera did it.
Yep.
Now it's your turn, Frank Reich. Matt Rule couldn't do it. Your turn, Frank Reich. You got 3 seasons.
Now, can we be objective and say Frank Reich is at a handicap because he doesn't have a 1st round pick to work with? You understand?
Yes, true. But I would argue that a lot of the Hornets' ills are because of Frank Reich.
Panthers.
I'm sorry, the Panthers. The Hornets might be
might be suffering too.
A lot of the Panthers' ills are because of Frank Reich. if he could do a better job of establishing the team identity, and if he had given up the offensive play calling, which I thought was fine today,
it
was fine last week.
Yeah.
If he had done that earlier in the season, I'm not saying we'd be like have a winning record, but we'd be better than 1-6.
Absolutely.
And now we're just Chicago smiling. Now we got our Thursday night matchup.
4 days to turn around and go play Chicago in Chicago.
Yeah.
On the road.
Which that win or loss does not even matter.
It don't even matter
to the Panthers or Chicago.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't. If the Panthers win, oh well, thanks.
If they lose,
thanks.
Oh well, thanks.
Yep.
Oh man.
Hey, Dre. Where the fuck were you last week?
What happened?
Nothing about Bryce Young is electric or amazing. He doesn't have a great arm. He's not that good athlete. Bryce is looking really bad. I didn't see you last week, bro. When Bryce Young outplayed C.J. Stroud? When C.J. Stroud looked
You remember when
C.J.
Stroud played like a real defense and looked very average? Yeah. Like, we need consistency here on other construction, man. Like, oh boy!
But see that, but that's what happened.
But we know what was going to happen today. Yeah. We knew it. We're prepared for it.
Yeah,
we knew it. Yes.
So yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
Just keep it consistent.
The CJ Stroud fans last week was quiet
as church mouse.
Just had nothing to say, and now. Boy, they couldn't wait
against a different team that's not the
Panthers. When they went head to head,
whatever, man. All right,
that's sports.
That's sports for
that's
you.
Sports for you.
That's hot take sports for you.
That's.
Is that Skip Bayless?
Yeah.
What we got?
Why CJ Stroud didn't have 470 yards against the Panthers? Somebody in the chat asked me that. Why
did somebody answer that for us, please?
Why didn't he have 470 against the Panthers? By the way, the Texans. I actually bought a PFF membership just to argue this point. Offensive line rankings. You know where the Texans are?
Way better than the Panthers.
10th.
Top 10 already.
10th best offensive line in the league. You know where the Panthers are?
Dead last
in both pass protection and 26th in run offense efficiency. That's a huge difference. Having the 10th best offensive line protect you and having the worst offensive line protect you. I don't care who you are. You're just not gonna have success as a rookie with the worst offensive line in football.
But why do people act like that doesn't matter? What does most NFL pundits, experts, whatever you want to call them, what do they say about winning games in the NFL? Where do you win games at, Kaza? In what?
Hey,
the trenches.
He just said that. One of our comments. Games are won in the trenches.
In the trenches.
In the trenches, yep.
And we are the worst offensively in the trenches. We are the worst.
Yep.
So it matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
Whatever, man.
Cam had a bad offensive line.
Cam had it. It wasn't bad as this.
It wasn't.
It damn sure wasn't bad as this.
I'll say Cam was a generational talent. People want to act like he's not because he didn't dive on a fumble that he would have lost in the Super Bowl. But
anywhere his head.
And we've always stated that we didn't know if Bryce or CJ were generational talents.
Right.
We're not like Cam Newton. I don't think I'd be shocked if either of those guys had a year like Cam had in 2016, where he was clearly the best player in the league, offensive MVP,
voted by his peers as the number one player in the league. All of that.
So I mean, if you're saying, well, Bryce Young's not as good as Cam Newton, I'll agree with that.
We agree with that all day.
No, very few quarterbacks are as good as Cam Newton. So
there's that.
Tepper is the GOAT owner. Yep. Hey, Charlotte FC made the playoffs, so Tepper, good on you, bro. Doing something right.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I bet Tepper knows. Hey, let me let whoever run this soccer thing. I'm gonna just hang back. It's probably a little different with football.
Do we really want to talk about these sorry ass?
I don't know, because Kaza, what other story is there to tell about this game? It's the same thing every single week, man.
Okay, there's something I want to talk about. The NFL is becoming flag football, and I'm not the old man yelling at the cloud here.
Look, if you are, you had thousands of other old grumpy men agreeing with you.
That unnecessary roughness Xavier Woods got, and someone said it earlier in the chat, kind of took all the steam out of the Panthers. And and
don't forget, they called a late hit on Minshew. And I'm like, okay, you can call that, but where the hell was that call when Bryce Young got hit? Like, come on, man.
I feel like defenseless receiver is such a gray area.
Right. Especially when the ball is getting thrown.
Right. What else is the defender supposed to do?
Right.
Let him catch it? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
And then they were saying, okay, well, a bang play like that in real time, the referee might have thought it was in the head or neck area, which it might would look like that. But then looking back at the replay, the hit was clearly in the chest.
Yep.
Right. So why not go back and pick that flag up? But we're not going to do that. We're going to essentially say, oops, we messed up there, but we're going to give Indianapolis 15 yards.
We'll tell you tomorrow we messed up.
Yeah. I understand the essence of the rule. I don't like it though.
I don't like the way it's implemented.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't like defensive receiver rule at all. Right. I don't like it.
Same.
At all. You've got helmet to helmet. If a guy comes across in launching being illegal, that's been illegal in the NFL for before I was born. Right. You could never.
And I understand.
Yeah. You could never launch at a receiver. Helmet to helmet's been illegal for about 2 decades now. So why the defenseless receiver now? I don't. What does that mean? You can't hit a guy hard coming over the middle? That's literally what that rule means.
It's like the essence of the sport.
When I saw that hit, I knew a flag was coming.
Well, I think everybody anticipated that flag coming.
I was like, man, the hit looked clean to me, but I knew. I was like, they're gonna flag that. Ridiculous. And now with the NFL wanting to get rid of the tush push, they said it's too dangerous, and they wanted to get rid of. There was another kind of tackle the NFL is considering outlawing next season.
I don't know.
I don't remember what it was, but it's like.
But you know what NFL stands for? It's no fun league.
No fun league. Also, flag football will be an Olympic sport. I think that they just want to go to flag football. Panthers might be good at flag football.
They probably would be really.
Offensive line ain't got to do shit.
You have to be physical. So there is one positive I want to kind of shout out the defense. There were a lot of guys out. I mean, there were a ton of guys out.
Jeremy Chin, Justin Houston.
Yeah.
Of course, JC Horn's out.
But the guys who were out, listen, y'all, I have followed the Panthers since I was a little boy. There were guys on the field today. I don't know where they came from. I was like, who are these dudes that are out here? Shout out to DJ Johnson.
Yep.
Shout out to Jamie Robinson, who was out there. Shout out to a couple of guys.
I really like Troy Hill.
I like Troy Hill. Yep. I do. And they put him at safety today, which is impressive because he's usually a nickelback. So I was impressed by this hodgepodge of kind of like nobodies that they threw out there and put together a pretty damn good defensive game today, despite, the offense letting us down today, obviously. But I liked what I saw overall.
You didn't miss
by
CJ Henderson? I hope he's doing okay. Concussions are serious.
Now, that's not a joke.
Okay.
Right.
I hope he's doing well.
However. Take all the time you need, brother.
Yeah, that's it. Get well soon. All right.
Oh, boy.
Do you have offensive MVP? Jesus, let's see. Not Bryce. I meant Chuba.
I go Chuba. That was my. I'm not. Without me looking at the stats, I went Chuba Hubbard.
He only had 16 carries, but 58 yards, which was more than even Jonathan Taylor had.
Let me give a shout out. What do we say about Blackshear every week?
Yeah.
Give that man more touches.
Great returns today. Hayden Hurst only had 2 catches, but they were big. He had 2 big catches.
More of that, please.
Yeah.
I thought the coach did a really good job of shutting down Thielen today. I think they knew that Thielen is Bryce Young's safety blanket, and I think they did a good job.
Miles Sanders played well today too.
He's playing for his job.
Yeah. He only has 6 carries with 39 yards. I think he's feeling some kind of way.
He should.
So yeah, if that's what it takes to get better, maybe they need to do that with the O-line. Not that they would care. They'd be like, "Whew, thank God.
I got to work today." Yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah.
Icky, like, where we going after the game?
Defensive MVP, Derrick Brown, right? Or Frankie Louvu?
Frankie Lou was like my defensive MVP every week.
Derrick Brown looked really good though.
Man, who is Alex Cook? Who is that? Who is that guy? Who is DiCaprio Booty? Who are these guys?
DiCaprio.
What? What? I've never heard of these dudes. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. They played well. They did.
Yeah.
But Frankie Lou was my defensive MVP, man.
All right. This Thursday.
Shout out to Terrace Marshall. Just get off my team.
Oh yeah. Even Frank Reich don't know he on the team. So
predictions for Thursday. Is that where we at now? I'm sorry. Look. A couple of weeks ago, me and you said, "Hey, this is a soft spot of the schedule. Think some of these games are winnable." I'm so down right now. I'm not picking up to win.
I don't even really care.
I don't think I do either. But I just can't pick us to win.
The two worst teams in the NFL are playing on Amazon Prime Video. ESPN actually has Chicago with a 60% chance of winning.
Dude, 4-day turnaround on the road in Chicago. I mean, I don't care how crappy the Bears are. We're not like we're any better. So, yeah.
9-6 Chicago.
Yeah, I was gonna go low scoring. I'll say 17-14 Chicago.
Yeah.
That might be the lowest rated game.
Yeah. Also, don't forget this: DJ Moore and Foreman are chomping at the bit. Okay. 17-6
actually,
Chicago.
24. 24-10 now, actually. Forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're down now, wait until next year when the same O-line is starting.
Maybe we'll have Austin Corbett back by then. Maybe he'll be over his injury by then.
You don't want to,
maybe Brady Christensen actually.
Let me say that I hate to question the resolve and dedication of any professional athlete because
we don't do it.
I don't do it.
They sacrifice their bodies every day.
Although I didn't hit the genetic lottery to be in a position to play professional sports, but I digress.
Right.
Okay. But these guys sacrifice their bodies for our entertainment, although they get paid millions of dollars to do it. But I digress. But still, I think that if you really thought the team had a chance of doing something,
some of these guys will be back a little earlier.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Thomas Davis played in the Super Bowl with a broken arm.
Yep. Broken arm. Yep.
Broken arm. Broke his arm, had surgery on it in the 2 weeks between the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl and came and played. And you know why? Because he thought.
Because it was a damn Super Bowl.
It was a Super Bowl. He was like, we got a chance to. This might be the only Super Bowl, and it ended up being the only Super Bowl I ever play in.
Right.
I'm going to go out here and try and win.
Right.
Now, I know that's an extreme example, but what I'm trying to say is that if guys on the Panthers are like, man, this team could really do something, we might win the division, they would be willing to play through some of these normal aches and injuries that you always get, that every player gets in the NFL. But instead, it's like, well, shit, we sorry anyway. Why go out there second? Yeah.
Now, I will not name the player and I will not name the source, but word has it that one of these players is about 95% and could go out there and play today. But why would he?
Why would he? Why you messing up that's your money and your future?
Right.
Why? You just go to a better team next year and then ball out.
Which is a possibility.
That's what happens. All right. Boy. Enough about these tramps.
Enough of being depressed. Yeah.
Now we can be slightly less depressed, but still depressed all the same. Talking about the Charlotte Hornets.
My favorite team in Charlotte.
Who had an interesting week in which I can't tell if the Hornets are going to be good or not. So since the last time you saw us, they've gone 2-1.
1 and 2. Was it?
I'm sorry, 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was 1 and 2. Yeah.
Having lost to Brooklyn, which I'm not sure if that was expected. I think we picked them to lose that game, and then losing to Houston,
which was embarrassing.
Houston,
I'm sorry.
That was unexpected and embarrassing. And then having, I thought, a really good game against Indiana. Maybe not defensively, but they did some good things that we'll talk about. And I just don't know. It comes down to this. LaMelo Ball's got to play better. If he plays even a little bit better, we win all those games. But,
all right. So before we get into the games, let's talk about Mr. LaMelo Ball. All right. Now, I'm going to put on my objective hat. I don't know if y'all can see it. I got a big ass head, but let me put on my objective hat. LaMelo Ball is coming off major ankle surgery, right? And even by his own admission, he pretty much said, I have not played a lot of basketball this summer because he probably spent it rehabbing his ankle. Now, I am not a professional basketball player, but I have played basketball before, and I know this to be true. When you play basketball every day and then you go
that's true.
a minute without doing it, that rhythm and that timing, it takes a while to get back. And if you want to question me, question Michael Jordan, who came back that year. He was number 45, and ask him about his rhythm and his timing that wasn't quite there yet. That is a real thing. I promise y'all it is, y'all. So I say that to say, LaMelo's going to be fine. But there are things that still frustrate me about him, and there are things that the Hornets are just going to have to play through until he gets it back. That's it.
I agree. But the problem is that the Hornets are in no position
to wait,
to have to wait on LaMelo to get his rhythm and timing back.
That's no matter how unfair it is, it's just the truth.
That's the truth.
No doubt. I agree with that.
I mean, you gotta do something. You gotta change your game plan up to make it so where I will say this during the Indiana game, LaMelo, his impact was greater than just offense. He made some really good plays on both sides of the ball.
I mean, listen, let me give him props. Halliburton was cooking this dude most of the game. And to be fair, Halliburton was cooking whoever was guarding him. Yeah. Okay, to be fair. But LaMelo had the gumption to play great defense on that last possession and get the stop, obviously, get the stop of the game.
Yeah, of his career.
I have never seen that dude play defense like that.
But we've always said this about LaMelo Ball. His inability to play defense doesn't come from lack of effort.
Right.
That's why he always has so many fouls.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already fouled out once this season. So
here's one thing you cannot say about LaMelo Ball. You cannot say the dude is not competitive.
Oh, no, yeah.
You can't say that.
I will say that about LaMelo Ball. He gives 100% every play on both ends.
No doubt.
And it's just that on defense, like, I think the defensive principles aren't there. He's probably never really been properly taught them because he's never really had to. And so he goes out there, he plays the best defense he can. He gets a lot of fouls.
You know what LaMelo is? LaMelo is a straight up AAU kid. And what do I mean by that? Like some of those AAU kids are so good. They don't get taught technique a lot because they're so naturally good at everything. You understand what I'm saying?
Good point, Chris. Yeah, he's playing defense tonight, though. Maybe this is what LaMelo Ball needs.
Right,
and I said this before we started. A lot of cats on the internet was kind of like clowning LaMelo a little bit for his reaction after getting that stop and winning the game.
And I don't mind it at all.
No, absolutely. That's the confidence a player needs.
Right.
Oh, so you got 43 points? All right, let's go. You didn't get
the 3 you needed right there.
Yeah,
exactly.
You didn't get the points that counted. I'm gonna take this win and go home.
Kaza, it is the NBA. The best of the best have gotten cooked, man. Yeah. It happens. These players are the best in the world. It's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
And you got to play through that stuff, man.
So, props to LaMelo. Although you could make the argument that last night's game was more about incompetence from both teams because they both looked bad down. They were trying to they were like, here, no, you take. No, you take.
It was bad execution by both teams.
No.
Absolutely.
You win the game. No. By all means.
I don't want it.
Yeah. So, So yeah, but that, I mean, sometimes you just got to get the ugly win, especially against a team like Indiana on the road. A good game from them. The Rockets game, even the Brooklyn game, I feel like.
You know, one thing I want to talk about with the Brooklyn game, I think this is kind of a hot topic with the Brooklyn game. Hornets fans were very upset at Clifford for taking Mark Williams out of that game.
That's true. Mark Williams only had 23 minutes.
So here's my analysis of that.
Terry Rozier had 41 minutes, by the way.
Here's my analysis of that. I don't know if anybody noticed, but there was a point in around the second quarter where Dorian Finney-Smith was drilling threes, like just wide open, because Ben Simmons was coming down. He was putting Mark Williams in the pick and roll every single time. And this is no fault to Mark Williams whatsoever. None. This is absolutely no fault of Mark. But you cannot expect a 7'2" dude to cover a wing in a pick and roll situation. So Steve Clifford was in a very tough position. He said, look, I can't keep him out there if they're just going to be drilling three, ultimately trading twos for threes. You understand what I'm saying? We were coming down getting dunks, but they were coming down getting threes.
I mean, the Brooklyn Nets, their starting lineup doesn't technically even have a center. Finney-Smith is
now to be fair, their starting center was out that game, so correct, they did go small that particular game. Yeah.
So, but ultimately, I mean, we just got game planned. We got out-coached. Our Cliff's answer to that was, well, I'm going to take one of my best players off the floor. You got to have a better answer.
You got to have a better plan. But,
right.
But what do you do? You know
but see, that's why I'm not an NBA coach. That's Steve Clifford is. You've been coaching in this league forever. You got to come up with something better.
I will say this, okay? And this is something I think every Hornets fan agrees with. This is something we did not want to see anymore. We did not want to see PJ as the de facto small ball.
Yeah, we said that. Yeah.
But in that particular scenario, he had to be. There's like we didn't have much choice, right? Right? But the same things that plagued the Hornets in the Rockets game plagued them in the Nets game. Horrible defensive rotations in both games. Horrible. They were late to every single defensive rotation. And, dog, they gave up 133 points.
That's been the issue with the Hornets forever.
For a long time.
Late rotations. And it's the biggest reason why their defense is garbage, and particularly their perimeter defense. Teams shoot the three against us because, you're going to get open threes against the Charlotte Hornets. That's like...
Because you're going to get dribble penetration most times.
Exactly.
LaMelo just blocked the shot, by the way.
Hey. And PJ's... Yeah, Tovey Taylor says, has PJ's play put Bridges on the bench or off the team? We talked about this.
We talked about this before we went on today.
I think you have to consider the possibility of starting both, but I really think the bench could use PJ coming off.
And the thing is, like, Hornets fans hate Gordon Hayward, but you can't send him to the bench, right? Because he's playing very well. Yeah. He's playing very well this season.
Plus, you need to trade him.
Get that value up.
Yeah, I mean, if Gordon Hayward is averaging above 15 points a game by the trade deadline, I think all the teams are just
teams are going to call.
They're going to call
because he has an expiring deal.
Contract.
Call, man.
A contender will take him to help them on their playoff run. Right, he's a vet.
But okay, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you though, Kaiser. What if the Hornets are in playoff contention at that point? What if we're like in the hunt? I mean, because I don't know if do you do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do it, and then you say Brandon Miller. All right, it's your time to shine, bro.
Your time to shine.
Yeah,
got you.
It's your time to shine, and then why you shoot that? And then you ask Gordon Hayward in the offseason if he wants to come back on a reduced deal because he'll be a free agent.
Right, no doubt. You know what I hate about the Rockets game?
Everything.
Well, this is what I really hate about that. We made what's the light skinned dude, the aggravating dude used to play for the Grizzlies.
Dylan Brooks.
We made Dylan Brooks look like he can really play.
That cat went 7 for 9 for 20 points.
That's unacceptable.
3 for 3 from 3-point range. What's crazy is that game made Houston look like Like they turned the corner.
Now, all right, I'm going to be objective. They made some moves that would make Hornets fans jealous. And
Fred VanVleet.
and Dylan Brooks, to be fair, both are kind of veteran presences that, now I'm not going to lie, the Rockets really needed both vet presences, just like we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got Ime Udoka, who probably made it a point to say, hey, I need some vets on this team as well. And I can see how that would make Hornets fans like, damn, we need some of that around here. You understand what I'm saying? Even with all that being said, they're not that good. They're not as good as we made them look.
Yeah. This comment, Hornets playing their best defensive game played 2 years ago. I'm telling you, that Indiana game sparked something, I think.
I disagree. I think the Rockets game sparked something.
Could be, yeah.
Listen, let me I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain why. The Rockets came to that game one of the lowest shooting 3-point shooting teams in the league. They were like 27. And again, very small sample size, but you get it.
They shot 56% from three.
Dude. Now listen, with the Indiana game, like Tyrese Halliburton is an all-star. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So him going off like that is like, all right, man, that dude, I mean, yeah, he's an all-star for a reason. They're better than the Rockets. So it's like,
you know what's crazy? The Hornets shot 40% from three that game, which is like.
But here, I saw that stat at the end of the game. They shot 20 3-pointers. The Pacers shot like 45.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And Cliff even said it. We're not shooting or making enough of them. But we're also not defending it very well either.
Yeah, that Rockets game. Plus, I feel like Mark Williams has played very well at the beginning of the season. He did not play well against Houston. That was big.
Yeah, I agree.
We need him to play. When he plays well,
it's a different team.
Yeah.
It's a different team. Yep.
Now, he did play pretty well defensively, and he was only -1, but I think having him on the inside, being able to score, puts a lot of pressure on other defenses. By the way, the Hornets lead the league in points in the paint. That's
surprising.
But you would think, but it's not really, because under James Borrego, his last 2 seasons, they led the league in points in the paint, which was kind of shocking because everyone told me, they told me that Mason Plumlee was not good.
The worst center ever, right?
So how are we scoring all these points in the paint?
Right.
But I think a lot of that is because of Mark Williams.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Brian Burns is in concussion protocol.
It doesn't even matter. I mean,
just
in the season.
Take the rest of the season off, bro.
Seriously. What does it matter at this point? So back to the Hornets.
So the Indiana game, though. Okay, so I'm gonna read a stat line to all of our fans out there. I'm not gonna say who it is. You just have to guess.
I could probably guess.
14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Now he was plus 12, and he did shoot 5 from 9, and he shot 3 for 5 from 3.
Are you talking about the guy?
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
But the guy on the other side of the ball he played against, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. Now, which of those guys would you rather have?
I like the 27-7 guy myself.
I like the 27-7 guy. Right. I'm just saying, for years, Hornets fans was telling us, Hornets got to get Miles Turner. We got to do it.
Every 5 minutes.
Even though Cody Zeller was dunking on Miles Turner. Mason Plumlee hit a reverse dunk over Miles Turner once. This was the guy that we needed. Mark Williams had an outstanding game last night.
Go back and read Nick Richards' stats too, because Nick Richards
he balling out too.
Because he actually didn't have a bad game either. Man.
10 points, 10 rebounds.
Yeah, off the bench. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep.
The Pacers fans were like, man, they're making it look like we suck on the inside. Well, I mean,
look. Somebody on this show a few years ago said there's a difference between a shot blocker and an interior defender. And somebody also made mention that Miles Turner was only averaging about 5 rebounds a game.
But then Hornets fans are like, we need better rebounding.
Just saying.
We got to rebound. By the way, Hornets balling right now against the Mavericks.
And Mark Williams is actually balling. So
yeah,
Yes, we are watching the game as we're doing the show.
Yeah, he's playing in the background. Drill, great question. Does the management love Clifford, or do we have a coach ready to come in and take them up a level?
Here's my thing, man. I and no disrespect to your question, but I think what the Hornets would say is they don't even want to go there yet, because you can't judge. I don't like judging coaches off any small sample size. And yeah, I know. Cliff was here. I get it. Cliff has been here. We've seen Cliff, blah, 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 blah. But we have not seen Cliff with this roster, which he is very excited about, by the way. I've never heard Cliff glow over a roster like he has this season so far. So to answer your question, we got to wait till we get at least 60 games into the season before we even think about that.
I agree. If the Hornets, let's say they make the playoffs free and clear, no play-in, they make the playoffs. Okay, well, you can't get rid of him.
You can't get rid of him at that point. I'm sorry. I mean, you can,
unless, but it's got to be like Phil Jackson coming out of retirement. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
kind of thing.
Right.
Now, let's say they get to the play-in game and they could have had a push and they didn't quite. Even if they make the playoffs via the play-in game, then I think you can say, okay, is there another guy that we'd rather have, a bigger name? Does Mike D'Antoni feel like, getting off the couch?
Does this Budenholzer want to come coach Charlotte?
And especially since now the ownership's different. Right. Mitch might be gone. So, yeah, by the way, new owners are not going to do anything. So stop
expecting these sweeping changes that they're not coming.
What's J. Cole doing? I thought J. Cole was going to bring all the free agents to Charlotte. That's what I heard. That's what they told me.
Oh man. I'm actually not as much of a detractor with Cliff as a lot of Hornets fans are. I actually like Cliff, man. And again, I want to see Cliff with this roster.
I appreciate Clifford for coming back to this shitty ass
situation.
Team. Yes.
With Miles Bridges hanging over
when nobody else would.
Right. Exactly.
When Kenny Atkinson said, nah.
I don't want to deal with that.
And Mike D'Antoni was like, nah.
And Kenny Atkinson lied about why he didn't want to come back.
And you fired the coach that brought you a winning season and nobody else wants to coach for you. And you gotta essentially go to the guy you fired, 4 seasons ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and be like, hey, big head,
what you doing?
Yeah. And he came back too,
right?
Because it's not like, he rich, he don't need the money.
He don't need to come back.
So, props to Steve Clifford, for that. So
but here, you know what though? Here's one thing Hornets fans don't really remember, and here's one thing of note. When Steve Clifford was, listen to me, let go the last time, it wasn't a straight up, we're just going to fire this dude. It was a mutual understanding like, hey, we're stuck in the mud. We just want to go a different direction. That's a lot different than saying, you know what, we don't believe in you, we're firing you. There's a difference in that.
I do want to bring this up. Now, Brandon Miller is not in his first NBA start today, is not playing well tonight, but the Hornets are winning and he's actually doing really good on the defensive end. But is the Scoot versus Miller conversation officially dead?
For now, but no.
Scoot has been downgraded. He's gone back. They sent him to the bench.
Man, he got benched from Malcolm Brogdon. Yep.
And now Miller, albeit because of injury, has been, is now a starter.
Position, yeah.
And clearly, I feel like he's played better than Scoot has in these first 6-7 games. Is there anything you want to say to Hornets fans? Particularly the ones that booed when we were at the draft party.
There's a lot I want to say as the Hornets fans, but but for this subject in particular, Hornets fans, this is why y'all gotta calm down sometimes and actually let things play out.
Yeah.
Hornets fans are emotional, and we know why. We know the history of this team. We know that we've missed a lot of draft picks. We know that. We know it. But sometimes it's okay to let things play out. And a lot of times national media don't know what the hell they're talking about a lot. Let me put that out there. We listen to everybody on ESPN and the local radio station. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to get sued. But we listen to all these people hyping their favorite players up. That doesn't mean it's the right pick.
I'm actually going to give some props here. There's a guy in the Charlotte Hornets group named Skeleton Jack. I don't know his real name. I don't know anything about this guy. The only thing I know is that he hates Brandon Miller.
He hated Brandon Miller with an intense passion.
I'm talking like just
he might have hated Brandon Miller the day he was born, the way that dude acted.
I mean, he hates Brandon. I think his girlfriend was the one that I'm not even gonna say that.
Don't say that. Please don't say that.
I'm just saying the guy hates Brandon Miller. But even he
had to be like, hey.
He's come around in the group and been like, okay, maybe I was wrong on Brandon Miller. Because Brandon Miller has played well, at the very least, he's played better than Scoot Henderson has played, who has struggled. And I think he struggled because Dame is not there, actually.
Right, to mentor him.
Right. I mean, it's like, okay, well, the best player in our franchise history, not named Clyde Drexler, is gone. It's all up to you, kid.
Right.
And he's averaging 8 points a game on bad shooting.
And Kazi, I know you agree with me in this. We want to be fair, man. We can't come to these conclusions with 5 or 6 games into their first NBA season. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, man, come back to me in 5 years.
Except for Wembanyama. That guy, he gonna be MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. He gonna be an All-Star.
I want to cry and just curl up in the fetal position like a little bitch every time I see Victor Wembanyama, man, knowing that we were 1 pick away from that.
It wasn't meant. The draft is rigged. I'm sorry. We all know that.
Hey, look, man, it's hard to argue that. I told you the example before we got on the show today about Charles Barkley last season saying, oh, that Victor kid is going to look good in the Spurs jersey. And it's hard to argue that when you hear stuff like that.
You know, I feel like the fact that we got the second pick is proof that the draft is rigged. Like, they were like, you know what?
Let's get the Hornets something.
Yeah. And then we didn't pick Scoot, and they were like, man, they done messed that up too. We can't give them nothing. But I think.
But with all that being said, I like our guy. I do.
Yeah, I said this before the draft. Fit is important. BPA is a myth. Brandon Miller fits more with the Hornets trying to do now. He's playing the 2 guard tonight, and I think that's probably why he's struggling some.
But he'll get used to that.
He'll be fine. The Hornets will be fine, and I look forward to seeing both of their careers. Actually, I think this batch of rookies this season is going to be really good.
Listen, man, I don't want to jump the gun on the Hornets just yet. Like, you know, we won a game last night. We're looking pretty good so far tonight.
Dallas just made a little run.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is over yet. And I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to jump the gun, man. But I am interested to see what this team looks like when the real LaMelo comes back. When the real LaMelo comes back.
Another question, Miles Bridges comes back in a few games. He's only got 4 more games to serve on his suspension.
Right.
He's going to have some rust, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure
right.
he's been playing basketball unlike LaMelo was, but I mean, that's not the same.
It's not an NBA game basketball.
Right. So, and he's going to come back with something to prove. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Hornets, next time you guys see us, will have played a bunch of teams that will beat us. You never know with the Hornets. I hate this feeling of you
never know. Look, it's okay to say you don't know sometimes. It's so hard to predict this team. It really is, man.
All right, so after tonight, we play Washington in Washington. I hate that. I hate that when they do that with the schedule.
Yeah,
that's
same.
Dumb as hell.
I agree.
But we play Washington at home and then on the road. And then
that's so
and then
dumb.
Sunday early afternoon they play the Knicks. So we'll come on that Sunday after the Hornets game after they play the Knicks. So we won't predict tonight's game, although they're up by 6 right now. They've looked good. Dallas is making a little run. The fourth quarter, of course, is going to be super key. But Washington, New York. Your predictions. By the way, the Wizards don't look good this season.
Yeah. I am going to go on the optimistic side, Kaza. I don't think I've ever done this. You ready?
All right.
I'm going 3-0, man. I
Bro.
know. I'm probably gonna regret.
Bro.
I'm probably gonna regret that.
You know what? The Knicks don't look that hot this season either.
See, look, I'm only listen. It's so early in the season, you can't tell what team is what team yet.
Yeah.
So I'm only gonna go on what's trending at the moment. The Hornets are trending upwards, even though small sample size. Those other teams are trending on the downside. So I'm actually gonna go 3-0, man. And I'll regret it next week, but I'm gonna do it now.
All right, let's say they win tonight. That puts them at 3-3.
Right.
And then they go 3-0. They're gonna be 6-3.
Yeah. I know.
I don't know, man.
I know. I know. I'm gonna regret this next week.
You do this every week. You've been doing this for like 5 years, man.
I know. I should know better. I should know better.
Clearly,
right?
you're a masochist.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But let me say one more thing. I truly believe. I do believe this. I truly believe somewhere between that Rockets and Pacers game, something in their head went off and say, you know what, we got to play way better defense than what we've been playing. And I think we may see a positive trend. I'll keep it at that.
You know what? I've known you for
damn near 20 something years.
16 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride with you, bro.
So we both going to be wrong next week. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you. 3-0, Hornets, bitch.
I can't wait till next week's show. Yeah, I can't wait.
Buzz City, don't let us down.
Buzz City, don't let us. Look, as the Mavericks are climbing back into this game.
I know, right? These will be the last stretch of games before Miles Bridges comes back.
Yeah,
which will be very interesting.
Yeah, and look, man, Hornets fans don't expect Miles Bridges to just be coming back balling out the gate, man. He ain't played basketball,
but if he does,
I mean, hey, more power to him.
By the way, the Mavericks are down by one.
By 1 point.
All right, so let's close this out so we can get back to watching these guys blow the 15-point lead.
Yep.
Shout outs.
Shout out to Charlotte football, who actually won the game that they were underdogs in. Hey, went on the road to beat Tulsa.
That's crazy.
Hey, man, shout out to Biff Poggi and the Charlotte 49ers for actually winning a game that nobody thought that they would win. So I'm shouting out to UNCC 49ers this week.
Do I have anything positive to say about anything in this city of ours?
It's tough to come by.
Oh, no, actually, no. Big news. Cedar Fair and Six Flags are merging.
That's really big
That's
news.
huge. And they're moving their headquarters to Charlotte, North Carolina. So for those who don't know, Cedar Fair is the name of the company that owns Carowinds. They are the largest, or one of the largest music park companies in the world. They have the most roller coasters, and their headquarters was in Ohio, Cedar Point, Ohio. It was kind of like the mecca of roller coasters. If you love roller coasters like I do, they bought Carowinds some years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and they've been slowly moving roller coasters over to Carowinds, and now they are merging with Six Flags and moving their headquarters here to Charlotte. I mean, that's actually big news.
Really big, man.
Big for the economy, big for everything. Carowinds has slowly been becoming like the roller coaster capital of the world, with Fury being so popular, and that's great news. Actually, something good like that for our city, that is not like a new apartment complex or a new Amazon warehouse
or a new brewery.
So good on them for that.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
That just means they're gonna build apartments where the headquarters are. So if there's something over, I don't know where they're putting the headquarters, but if it's something near it that you like, it's gone.
Or you could grab a brew wherever.
Also, shout at who keeps breaking into places in Plaza Midwood. Why y'all doing this?
Why? Leave them people alone. You know what?
Just busting right through the glass. 2 different places, break-ins.
Vigilante justice for gentrification. Is that what that is?
You kind of late on that.
You're
like 10 years late on that. Oh boy. Okay. All right. We're gonna get out here and watch these Hornets.
All right, man.
Lose to the Flat Earth Squad. So y'all have a great week, man. We love you guys. We're gonna keep watching this sorry ass Panthers because we love you guys.
Right,
okay?
right. That's probably about the only reason now. So
y'all have a good week. Enjoy this win.
Like, share, subscribe.
That's right.
And as always, thank you every single week. Thank you.
Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace, y'all.